AM 1600 KIVA, ABQ.FM, rockoftalk.com. I'm Eddie Erg on the Rock of Talk. With me, the best in real estate, Tego and Tracy Venturi, the Venturi Real Estate Group from Keller Williams Realty. You can pick up the phone and dial them directly. Please do. 505-448-8888. That's 505-448-8888. Or welcomehomeabq.com. That's welcomehomeabq.com. It's the number one real estate website here in the state of New Mexico. Tego, Tracy, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning.
Good
Great.
morning, Eddie.
It's been such a pretty week.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah, the weather, it's warm up, the flowers blooming.
Yeah.
The allergies telling us, hey, we're here and we're ready to make everything absolutely beautiful. As always, Tego and Tracy want to help you with your real estate needs. They've got the team to do it with plenty of people at the ready to go ahead and help you this morning. Or if you happen to capture this particular broadcast, then you got the early bird getting the worm and the coming soon attractions. Boy, you got to know where the houses are about to sprout before they even do it. And trust me, they're going to be in the know. Our topics for this week: housing affordability in the ABQ, update on forbearances, latest rent versus buy comparisons, affordability, folks, still at an all-time high. We talked about supply last week. Pay attention to that. By now, what does the data actually say with regard to all that? Tego and Tracy have all the information. Stay tuned for that. Tego, Tracy, take it away.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie. Sorry, that whole time I was busy doing something because I had an appraiser. So you know this, right? I had an appraiser that needed to get into a house. And like right now, appraisers are so backlogged. Like if you miss out on getting an appraiser at the home, you're going to have another couple weeks maybe.
Well, you definitely don't want to miss your appraisal appointment.
Yes.
So you had to use your phone to unlock a door while we were being introed there.
Exactly, yeah. And I was texting him at the same time. So anyway, hi everybody, and thanks for joining us.
That reminds me of we have a listener who left us a voicemail this week.
Oh,
saying,
yeah. Yes. I wanted to address that. Yeah.
We wanted to address that because one of the topics today is, should I be a home buyer, right?
Right.
And so we have information about that, and we always appreciate your feedback, want to know it, and love to discuss it. And so we're going to get to that today.
Absolutely. Got some interesting, well, can I lead off with this? Because I think it's a good story. It's the one I have pulled up here, Tracy. It has to do with what's going on with the forbearance world, right? So if you're not familiar with it, when the pandemic started, there were a lot of these programs that came into place to help people with mortgages
that couldn't afford to pay them,
couldn't make their home mortgage payments, enter into a forbearance program, meaning they're basically putting their mortgage payments on hold. And of course, now we're past a year out. And so there's been a lot of them that expired because, I think initially it was 6 months or maybe it was 3 months and it extended. And a lot of them, are up on a year now. And so there's been a lot of expirations. And what's happened is as they've expired, meaning the plan, most of these people have come off the forbearance plan.
Right. When you look at the numbers, the decline was pretty significant.
It was
of people
really
in the program.
Yeah. So people exiting the program. A lot of those people came, did a workout plan with their mortgage their mortgage servicer, as we call it, and meaning like, okay, we're going to set up some sort of repayment plan so you can get back on it. Some people didn't, and that's a really small number. And then some people extended again too that may not have. So, but the point is, it's about half, I think, from a year ago. And I saw it earlier and I read the data on it, but substantially less number of people on those forbearance plans, and every month it keeps declining. And the point is, it's going in the right direction. It's not looking like we're going to have a flood of foreclosures for people that have gone into foreclosure.
And typically what we've seen, Tego, for people that have come out of a forbearance program that maybe didn't pay their monthly mortgage for a year or some number of months during that year, is a lot of times they took that amount that they should have been paying and the lender put that at the back end of their loan. So it's not like now they owe 10 months or 12 months of mortgage, right? They just added it on to the end of the loan. So now they've got a 30 or 31 year loan instead of a 30-year mortgage, right?
Yeah. So again, the takeaway is it's positive news for that situation. I know there was some really big, scary numbers, last year on the number of people that weren't paying their mortgages. But every month it gets better and better. And
we know a couple people that have put their house in forbearance. They were not able to. Ironically, we know a nurse who got basically furloughed, laid off during the beginning of the pandemic because the type of work that she was in was not COVID related.
Yeah, because
right.
I'm going to go a little off script here. Yes, because a lot of people working in hospitals lost work because nobody was going to the hospitals other than for COVID.
Right. There was no elective surgeries. There was no,
Right.
Elective as in, I'm not talking about elective, I want to get a facelift. I'm talking about dental surgery and other things that could be put off, right? I have a bad knee, but you can't get it fixed right now type surgery. So anyway, so it's good news. People are coming out of forbearance. Most people are able to continue on the path. And
let me just put this out there. If you know somebody that is in a situation where they haven't been able to, come out of the forbearance plan, or they're delinquent and they need, they just need advice. They just need to have a private conversation with somebody about, what can I do, right? I can't keep making the payments. I can't, do a workout with the mortgage company. I just need to move on from this house. The good news for those people is, we've had all this equity gain, right? So
Home
a lot of
prices
people,
are up.
a lot of people may be in an equity position, or what we call an equity sale position, where they can just sell the house, pay off the, underlying mortgage, and move on without having that hit on their record.
Right. But a lot of people, Tego, they just may need to talk to us just to learn, hey, talk to your lender, make it work, because, you've got to live somewhere.
Well, and I told you that story the other day, Tracy, that the CFPB, Consumer Finance, Protection Bureau, whatever they are, the Federal
Protection Bureau.
Yeah. Anyway, they're keeping a close watch on the mortgage servicers, the people that actually handle and process the mortgages. They want to make sure that consumers are getting taken care of, at least in their mind. That wasn't happening in 2008.
No,
I'll
so
assure
much
you
is
that.
different, right?
Yeah, so much
is different.
That's one of the many, many things that make this market very different than before.
Sure, for sure. So, Homes of the Week, it's sort of hard to go over Homes of the Week. Eddie said, Tracy's going to tell you about the Homes of the Week. And I'm like, okay, we do have some, and we do have some open houses this weekend and things. I would say it's best to get on our website, check out open houses. What is the site?
Well, if you just come to our website, we've got an open house tab. But if you just go to albuquerqueopenhouses.com, it'll drop you right there.
Or welcomehomeabq.com and search for it, because you don't want to just know the Venturi Realty Group's open houses. You want to know all of them that might be available.
68 of them. I looked before we got on the radio how many open houses are scheduled for the Albuquerque area this weekend.
Great.
68 of them.
I know we have one in Corrales, the $349,000 property with some horse facility.
I didn't know there was a $349,000 house in Corrales with horse facilities, we have it.
It's a really interesting property because the owner has made it so that it's basically two living areas or two living units. So they live in the top floor with its own entrance, and they made the main floor. Yeah. So it's sort of like a great
well, it could be a multi-generational type situation.
Exactly.
Right.
Somebody that maybe doesn't do stairs could be on the main floor, and you could live up. And you can have your horse. It's got some nice horse facilities. So that one's coming. But you can
go. It's on the market.
Yeah, you can call us 448-8888. And I know Eddie's pointed out it's now 505. 505-448-8888. And our client concierge that answers that phone would be happy to help you. So we can do that. So
Great.
that's
So
that's the homes of the week. I would
I-
say I could go through all the ones that are new and coming soon, but it'd be better to get up to the minute information by calling us or getting online.
Yeah, I think the thing is people that are in the market to buy a home right now know what's going on. You figure it out within about, a day.
Right.
If you start looking at homes online, go on our website or, some of the other websites, you'll see homes are coming off and they're coming on and going off like really quickly.
So one of the things I want to do instead of talking about that is talk about some of our buyer needs. So if you're thinking of selling, we have a buyer looking preferably Rio Rancho or far northwest Albuquerque for a 5-bedroom, larger home over 3,000 square feet with a good budget. So if you're thinking of selling and that might fit you, give us a ring. We might just have the buyer. We also have another buyer that's looking up to $1 million in far northeast Albuquerque. They want the basically 87111, 8711122 kind of zip codes, also up to $1 million. They have, they just want a nice house. So, if it's 400,000, great. But if it's 900, they're open to that as well. We actually have 2 buyers looking for that type of house right now. So I know there's a lot more buyer needs. So we really would love to chat with you if you're thinking of selling.
Yeah,
and we can talk to you about what the market's doing and what your home might go for. Of course, we do that all free. We do a free consultation, a free market analysis.
Tracy, you said something, and I want to, because you corrected me the other day. You hardly ever do that.
I do that all the time. Sorry.
So I was talking with our team about the market and what's going on, and just going through some data. And I was talking about how, these homes under the median price of $260 are selling really quickly, right? And you made a really good point. You said, look, you keep saying it's like the lower price point. Well, we've seen, $1 million homes come on the market and have multiple cash offers right away as well. So it's really every price range.
Yep, it is.
Now, the thing that's curious about that is you look at the MLS and there's 600-700 homes is all that's, on the market at any given day right now in our MLS. And there are a fair amount of homes that have been on the market for 30, 40, 60, 90, 180 days. Well, obviously there's something going on there, right? And maybe their price is still just too high. Or maybe that's a condition issue or the old, location issue.
It's
right?
some combination or one of those things for sure in this market.
Yeah. The point is the demand is there, and maybe the product just isn't fitting, for the people that are out there. But yeah, it's every price range is very really.
Do you have any stats
really
for
busy.
that?
Well, I know like in the higher end, we've basically seen double.
Putting you on the spot.
Oh, no, that's fine. I can, in the higher end, somebody asked me, said, well, what's considered the luxury market in Albuquerque? And it used to be just under 500. Now it's probably over. I haven't calculated it in the last couple months.
I think it's not necessarily by the numbers. This is not where a statistician makes it make sense, but it's what is our perceived luxury price?
Well, no, there is a definition.
I know there is, but in my mind, I'm not the stat person. So in my mind, it's the perceived. It's like $500,000 and above is what we consider luxury. Generally, what people think. But yes, there's a stat for it, and the number's different from that.
Well, the stat is it's the top 10%. Okay, you know this. Okay, of all the homes that sold, what are the top 10%? Of all those homes, what prices, and above. And so, right now it's right around 500,000 and above. And so if you look at that price range, 500 and above, the number of sales, it's not quite double, but almost doubled versus last year. You look at what I consider like the ultra high end, maybe $1 million, $1.2 million. It's more than doubled.
Yeah, it's interesting because we were speaking of $1 million two being our ultra high end. We had that question the other day, and somebody said, "What is your high end market? Is it like 5 million, 10 million, 20 million? What is it?" And I'm like, no. We
Well,
don't.
there
We
is
don't have.
one $7 million home on the market
We
in
don't have a
Albuquerque.
$20 million house in Albuquerque.
Is that what that
Santa Fe?
is that house listed at
I
$7
don't
million
know if
still?
it's on the market anymore.
Yeah,
but
there's anyway. Yeah.
Santa Fe, we've got huge ranches
Of
all over the
course.
state. Greg Walker, who used to be with Corrales Realty, just listed an amazing ranch up out of Raton. It's like 2,200 acres, and it's just,
wow.
the photos he posted of the elk and things. It's phenomenal, and those are more money than the Albuquerque market.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we don't have that. So, can we talk about this whole "is it a good time to buy" question? Because it's a obviously it's a tough question to answer because we don't know. Nobody knows. The experts don't know what is going to happen with the overall economy of this country. And I know there's a lot of opinions out there, right? You can jump on YouTube and you can get as many opinions, or get on Twitter and get as many opinions as you want about the overall economy. And, consensus, when you listen to the experts, I do my air quotes, experts, the economists and other people that are, the pundits on the economy, everybody is saying doesn't appear to be anything, that's going to slow this down right now. Now, and of course, you just look at the stock market, which is always the kind of the.
Is it a leading indicator?
It's a leading indicator of what at least how people feel about the overall economy, right? And so, right now everybody feels good about it. Now. Inflation is the big topic these days, right? Inflation is very concerning.
It's very inflationary.
Good answer. And
I'm glad you laugh with me.
Yeah, no, I know. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to give my opinion on this. If inflation is going to jump up, which it appears it is, or we're in the middle of it right now. We don't have the data yet, but inflation's going to run up. Hard assets are what you want.
Right, which is real estate, a hard asset.
Correct.
Right, because you've already locked in the value of it.
Correct.
And your money won't buy as much with the inflation.
And to replace that asset is going to cost a lot more than it did today in the future.
Right.
And so to highlight that, I've got that story that I put on where did I put that? I put that on Facebook about the cost of lumber, right? That's been a big conversation in our industry. And actually, it's kind of funny. It's kind of been all over the place. Lumber's kind of like this whole canary in the coal mine thing about, what's going on with housing. But, you talk to home builders, it's not just lumber.
It's windows, it's doors, it's light fixtures, it's faucets, it's sinks, it's bathtubs, it's everything. But lumber is a big part of the cost of construction. Right.
And so the data I had, or the chart I had, which was fascinating, said, okay, let me pull it up here. Okay. If you took $50,000 worth of lumber in 2015, you could have built 14.7 new single-family homes. Of course, these are modest homes.
And they're talking lumber, not trusses.
We're just talking lumber, not
just
truss.
to clarify.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Because that number confused me, because I was thinking of more than just the lumber.
Well, I asked a couple local builders to
I'll let
confirm
you tell this.
that. Yeah. Anyway, and they did. So anyway, but okay. So 2015, 14.7 homes. By 2020, it was 10.5 homes.
$50,000 worth of lumber could build
10.5 homes. And May of this year, $50,000 in lumber can only build 2.1 homes. So just to give you an idea how much that's changed.
So since 2015, it's gone from 50,000 being able to do 14.74 homes to May of 21.
What was the thing that Tim McNaney with Twilight Homes, he made a comment. He said that, they used to pay for a sheet of OSB, which is like plywood, right? Chipboard, a lot of people call it, was $8. Now they're paying $50 for that same piece of wood.
Of course, he didn't say how long ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, it's probably a few years ago. So the point is, there's inflation, in everything. Obviously, energy and all that. But in the housing world, doesn't look like prices are going to, at least to build, are going to come down.
Right. Yeah. So it leads us to, should you be a home buyer right now? It's a frustrating time to be a buyer. We know that. It's
Big
a frustrating time to be representing buyers. It's a hard time to be a seller right now, even because when your house goes on the market, you better hope that you can go stay in a hotel for 3 days, because you're going to have a lot of showings. And if you have dogs and kids,
and you're going to have multiple offers to sort through and try to figure out which one's the best one. So
and luckily, we put on our team, we have a nice spreadsheet. We put them together, and it's very easy to see the differences. But so let's say you are a buyer. Should you be a home buyer right now? Getting back to the voicemail we got, somebody felt it wasn't wise of us to encourage people to be home buyers right now. They should be sellers. So why would someone want to lock in on a home right now?
Well, so that call, but I'd been working on it already because I was very curious. I didn't have a lot of data. And so I did a deep dive on what rental prices are doing in the Albuquerque market. I know we deal in single family sales. That's what we do at the Venturi Realty Group with Keller Williams Realty. But we Tracy, you and I are landlords, property owners. We kind of work that single family home rental niche. That's our deal. And so I'm just curious, what's going on with rents. And there's been a lot of frenzy and frenetic pace in that world, as well as the sale world. So when a new, especially single family rental house comes on the market, there is a lot of interest for that property.
It's like bidding wars to get the rental house, and people are doing the same thing as when they're buying, and they're offering over what the asking rent is. They're sweetening the pot, right?
So I put a question out there to a group of realtors. I was like, okay, well, what are you seeing for price appreciation for rent? And as far as we can tell, it's anywhere from 8 to 15% annualized in rent, which actually is pretty close to what home price appreciation has been in Albuquerque as well. So it's it's in that range, right? Somewhere 10, something. So the thing is, this is what I said to somebody. It's like, okay, well, it's a bad time to buy. Okay, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to live at home? Are you going to live with a friend? You got to live somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There's a nice tent city downtown, but sorry, I shouldn't have gone there. But you know what I'm saying? It's like you got to live somewhere, right? So either you're paying, it doesn't matter what the price is for the purchase, you're going to pay somebody. You're either going to pay your landlord and pay down their mortgage, or you're going to pay down your own mortgage, right?
Right. And so that brings us to the rent versus buy calculation. Can you buy a house realistically in Albuquerque and pay equal to or less than what you would pay to rent a home right now?
So I've run the scenario a bunch of different ways. And what I do is I say, okay, if this house, let's, for example, $250,000 house, and not that there's a lot of them out there, but they're coming. They're coming on and they're going off immediately.
Well, there are. They just sell quickly.
Yeah, they sell quickly. But it's a $250,000 house and you compare that to if you were to rent that house, it's probably going to rent for around $1,500 a month, let's say.
Depends on what neighborhood.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Obviously, maybe more. But then you got utilities and you might have renter's insurance. And so I ran a bunch of different scenarios trying to be really conservative about it. And it goes back to what we've always said, Tracy. It's like in every single market, no matter what, it was always, if you're going to be in the home for at least 2 years, it makes sense to be a buyer versus a renter. It's that 18-month break-even point. If you're going to be only in a place for a year, renting is probably a better way to go.
That's right. With the low interest rates that we have right now, that probably will last for the next year. So I'm still trying to answer the question, why would somebody want to buy, right? So let's say we're at the top of the market on homes and you want to be a buyer with interest rates still in the low 3s for most people right now with decent credit. if the interest rates go up in a year or two and the home price goes down by $10,000, their monthly payment is still going to be less than if they bought 2 years from now with a 1% interest increase.
Just to remind people of that calculation, a 1% change in interest rate equals a 10% change in the home price.
Right.
From a payment standpoint.
So in addition to that, there's a net gain from buying a home. There's tax benefits. There's the satisfaction of making it your own. We have someone on our team who was interim and with kids that was renting, and last year was, bought their house again, or bought a house because they had been a homeowner, rented for a while, bought their house last year. And it was it was great to hear recently them just saying it's so awesome to be owners again, because the house is ours. We're making it our own. The kids are making their memories here. We're painting it the colors we want. We just did the yard. We did this amazing grilling area outside, and all the satisfaction of making the house their own. But logically, there also is a net gain financially from being a homeowner.
Yeah, I'm all about the financial part of it, right? And the numbers. It's like the numbers have to make sense to me. And to me, it just, if you do the math, it just makes sense, right?
Right.
And again, I'm doing, some pretty conservative. The thing is, let me give you something here. I've been looking at all these different forecasts, and I've seen forecasts anywhere from 6 to 8% to 10% to 15% price appreciation
expected for the next year
going forward.
Right.
And right now, I don't see anything changing that. There's nothing out there that could make that change.
Even COVID didn't make it change.
Well,
really.
COVID didn't
stopped everything.
Accelerated it.
Right, exactly. So
anyway,
then we talk about affordability. We were going to talk about home affordability versus.
That's the big issue. If you really want to find the problem, quote, air quote, the problem, the bubble isn't the problem. The problem is affordability. In fact, one of the economists that I follow who does great work, he's a housing economist. He had a story piece here a week or two ago, and it was said, we're not in the bubble, that's the problem, is what his piece was. And it was this whole affordability question. And I did a lot of work on that this week as well, and you know why. I can't mention why, but I did a lot of work on affordability and housing affordability in Albuquerque, and it's what's the right term here? It's the lowest it's been since 2008, meaning the median income to median home price, has tightened to the lowest number in April since 2008. So it's a challenge, and I don't see, the builders don't see, nobody sees a relief to that.
Right. So let's go back real quick and just wrap up with what a $250,000 house mortgage would be with insurance and taxes versus what a rental of that quality might also be.
Sure. So if you're buying, your monthly expenses on this $250,000 house is, let's say, $1,450. That's everything, right?
That's it.
Renting is going to be $1,600, give or take, let's say, for the same house. So right there, you're going, oh wait, that saved money. However, if you're a buyer, you're going to have your closing costs going out, so you have to take that into account, right? So you have to, figure that into your calculation. But the way that the numbers work out, even if you just look at a 5-year modest price appreciation, I think this one's calculated at 4%. So that's not as modest as you think, but that's historically what we've had in Albuquerque is 4% year over year.
Price appreciation when
right.
you look at the line.
Again, this year looks like it's going to be higher than that. Over 5 years, you've put $76,000 in your pocket between
in your net worth
between appreciation gain and then also your amortization gain, meaning paying down your forced saving every month as you're paying down your principal.
Totally. So there you go. Took us a while to get to that.
It did take a long time to
But
get there, but
Say
it's
that number
not
again. Net
you know,
gain by buying a home over 5 years is 76,000,
Yeah.
just based on basic numbers for a $250,000 house. So there you go, Eddie.
and I put a video out a week or so ago, and it's like it's so easy to look at one little data point and say the sky is falling, everything's going to crash. It's like, no, there are so many complex issues here that are all intertwined, and you have to look at all of them.
And all you have to do is go to welcomehomeabq.com, and you can go ahead and get through all the layers of the onion, the real estate onion that's out there. Don't cry, folks, because you got a bad deal. Be informed. Listen to the real estate experts. They've done more of these transactions than anybody else in the market. And as always, you can reach out to them directly. How can people reach you, Tego?
We're Venturi Realty Group, Keller Williams Realty, 505-448-8888, or welcomehomeabq.com.